Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Green Dragons Game Club. Without us, they never feel like winners. Without them, we couldn't look so good. So again, we're a local gaming group based out of Westchester, Pennsylvania. It's just outside Philadelphia. If you're in Delaware, northern Delaware, if you're in South Jersey, Allentown, Harrisburg, Northeast Maryland, do me a favor, reach out to me. We're just a good group of guys, always looking out to turn around and play a game. We play multiple games. I just turn around and put up ninth age stuff, but again, we play multiple other games, and that's it. Again, it's not that we're not competitive because we are, but it's more important to turn around and quote my buddy Dave is play with our little toy soldiers and just have a beer and have fun and enjoy the game. So today, I'm actually playing a new opponent for me, and it's going to be a 4,500 point game, and because his actual home store is going to be hosting Battlecry. Unfortunately, he won't be there for the tournament, but his local gaming store is hosting the tournament, who's actually being handled by a friend of mine, Chris. And he's like, this would have been the list that I would have been turning around and playing with had I gone there. I'm like, well, here's my list. Let's go ahead and let's see what happens. So I actually drove down, and we were actually going to go to one gaming store, which unfortunately I'm in healthcare, so I ended up working till 6, and the games where we were going to play at on a Saturday closed at 8 o'clock. So instead we went over to this other gentleman's house, and whose name is Omar. And Omar, if you're listening and watching this, all you do is say thank you so much for graciously letting us utilize your table. And I can't say enough other than thank you. But we had such a good game, such a fun time playing this game. I definitely want to say, and I think it's going to start up a little bit of a club rivalry going on between my own club, the Green Dragon, and his club. Unfortunately, I don't know or remember his club's name, but we are definitely going to be starting up a rivalry because we're fairly close. We're we're an hour from each other, so I think that's going to be a good time. So on to the main event. We have the Vampire Covenant versus Dwarven Holds. So, as I said, it's going to be 4,500. It's tournament list. We're playing straight out of the rules because that's what Battlecry typically is. And let's see. Here's the battlefield. So, yes, I know everything is kind of all fakaked. It's all jumbled in the middle there. And the reason why I took a picture here, because we were in the middle of deployment. First thing he did is he deployed 2 units so that he would be one less if we kept going 1 1 1 1. So he deployed 2 units, being a unit of whatever the winged beasts are that are considered light troops, fly 9, speed 6. And then you've got the unit of dogs. And then he turned around. I placed the handgunners. He placed the zombies. I placed Junior. He placed another unit of dogs. I looked at the board. I'm going, all right. He's going to turn around. He's going to throw a brick there in the middle, probably 2 bricks, and throw out some flankers. So I, at this point, decide to deploy my entire army at this point in time. And lo and behold, what's missing from the center? He didn't put his bricks down. So going from my left to my right is I have my unit of spearmen with my BSB. I've got an organ gun. I've got my guild-crafted handgunners with my engineer. Another organ gun. My big unit of deep watch with my king. A small unit of 10 warriors with shields. I've got 2 juniors. One's on the left, one's on the right. And another unit of vanguarding great weapon warriors. And up in the trees, up in the middle right, I have a unit of rangers. All the rangers have are shields, and they skirmish. Going from top left down to bottom right, whatever, he's got 2 Varkalax. One of which is going to be a conversion, the other one's more traditional. He's got a unit of wing reapers or whatever they're called. He's got a unit of dogs. He's got another unit of wing reapers. The guy on the horse is a vampire out of Lamia with skeletal seed that has potion of strength. He has a hero sword, and I forget what else. And then you've got this unit of zombies, unit of dogs. He's got a unit of skeletons with spears and shields. that big thing is the Court of the Damned, and the unit on the right-hand side is a unit of Grave Guard, or whatever they're called now, with the with his BSB being a White Lord, and his Lamian Vampire for somehow is Strength 8. I don't know, but I will just go with the flow. So that's how the board is. Now I wanted first turn, of course, and I looked at it. I'm like, all right, I know why he left the middle of the board empty, but wow, to me, I'm going, well, it kind of screws me over a little bit because my spears are hunkering down on the left flank, which is definitely one of my big combat blocks. And my other big combat block is opposing nobody. There's nobody across from me. So it kind of has me going, crap. At the same token, he's not a fast-moving army. He's going to end up slogging his way across the board, and between my range attacks and when he does finally meet my close combat blocks, it'll be interesting. Now, one thing I will say is Pretty Boy, whose real name is Ryan, has scarred me for life when it comes to Varkalax. They literally, I start getting twitches and pings in my neck just thinking about the Varkalax and what they're able to do with my against my infantry. Now, of note, I do have the Flame Standard in the unit of Spearmen, and I did say that to my opponent. Unfortunately, he still put his Varkalax on the left-hand side. Spoiler alert, Flaming Banner and Varkalax will meet later on. However, you're going to see the damage that those things do, or the damage that the spears do. So again, Varkalax, they just give me twitches. And that's it. So Vanguards, he moves up the one unit dogs. I move up my my great weapon guys, and that's it. He didn't bother moving his other unit of dogs, and I don't know why he didn't bother moving up his other unit of dogs, because I wanted first term. I vanguarded and I scouted, so that those two units can't charge on the turn that they turn around and do such a thing. So I'm like, okay, you don't want to do it? Works for me. And then you got the Varkalax. So on to Dwarves turn 1. Here's movement. I moved up Junior. I turn around. I moved up the vanguarding great weapon guys. I turn around and blocked the spears with the dwarves, with the rangers. And before I continue, our secondary objective is capture the standards. He only has 3 scoring units. He has a unit of zombies, skeletons, and his unit of Blackguard. I, however, have several scoring units. He chooses all 3 of my small units, where usually I'm just saying, hey, look, you're small, go die. You're like my peasants, go die. But he chose my vanguarding warriors, he chose my warriors with shields, and he chose my guild-crafted handgunners. So I'm going, well, that sucks, because of all the things in my army, those are the things that I typically will use to set up my opponent. So let's see, and I just simply I moved the one junior over so that his dogs could not get into my war machines, and I moved up my spears to try to protect that flank. Again, really nothing right now scaring me, because I think VC, in this current VC list, the Wing Reapers, or whatever, the flying critters, scare me for getting into my backfield, for getting into my handgunners, my 2 organ guns, and my small unit of clan warriors. But that's it. Otherwise, he'd be relying on his characters. 2 of his characters are all the way on the far side. That doesn't have me scared at all. Then you've got the zombies, the Wing Reapers. We'd have to see what would happen. Turn around, I get up glitter gleaming on them, so it's -1 to hit. And shooting phase, no, the Vengeance Seeker is not dead. Junior is not dead. He just is very top heavy. The handgunners turn around and only managed to kill 2 wolves. Organ Gun did 1 wound because he counts down. Does 1 wound to the Wing Reapers, and that's it. My shooting was very uneventful this phase, and it's usually games like that when it's uneventful is usually when I'm going crap. So this is the end of his movement phase. What you have here is he did try to charge the warriors with the zombies, but that was it. He did charge the rangers with the skeletons, and otherwise he just really repositioned things. He wasn't too worried about anything else. He just was really trying to just reposition things. So, magic was uneventful this phase. And I'm trying to think if he has no shooting to speak of, so on to close combat. Turned around and, well, first he failed that charge with the zombies, obviously, because they're not into my warriors. And that was it. So here, it was a pillow fight. I didn't do anything to him. He didn't do anything to me. And I broke through the combat res. 3 ranks, charge, banner, and bye-bye. So I flee. I run 8 inches. He runs 7 inches. So he's 1 inch away. He's now in the woods. And I'm going, I just don't care. I can live with this. Because if I actually do manage to turn around and rally, then they're stubborn in the woods because they're skirmishers. They still have shield wall, a hand weapon shield. So 4 up, 5 up on the charge. I'm liking those odds against the skeletons, and I'm going to keep him there till I'm able to deal with him. So I'm liking that. So on to my turn. However, I really didn't want them. I wanted them to die. Truth be told, I wanted the Rangers to have died, get caught, something. Because as it stands now, he's charge blocking me. Let me go back 2 picks. So just 1 pick. So as you can see, is where the skeletons end up in the woods, I could easily have gotten Junior into them. I could have easily gotten my Deep Watch into them. So, that really, it hurt. It really hurt. So, onto my turn, I charged the big block of spears into the dogs all the way on the far left. I charged the great weapons into the other group of dogs. And I charged Junior into the Wing Reapers there in the middle. And that's it. Now, he was not supposed to charge by himself. He was supposed to charge with the unit of warriors and be close. And they were going to be close enough to the BSB and the King. So if they did lose combat, anything they lost combat by, I wouldn't have cared about. I was going to try to make sure they drew enough attacks from those wing critters so that he doesn't throw everything onto Junior. Oops on my part. That failed. Even with Swift Stride, I needed 7. I think I rolled a 5 on 3 dice total. Let's see. I maneuvered my engineer on the other side of that war machine so that he couldn't try to wheel around with that one Varkalak to try to get into the one war machine. And if he hit, he would overrun, because it's still in my front arc, he would overrun and move past my war machine. That was my intention, that was my goal, and that was how I set it up that way. So on to the magic phase, because hey, Dwarves actually have magic. I get -1 to hit on my Deep Watch. The reason why I didn't throw it on anybody else is it didn't matter. Vengeance Seekers automatically have distracting and hard target. So -1 to hit or -1 to wound goes on to my Vengeance Seeker as well as reroll misses. So on to shooting phase. 2 organ guns and the handgunners took out the 3 flying critters that had no wounds on them. And that's it. Into close combat. His dogs killed 2 because I have great weapons. I swing last. Killed 2 of my dwarves. and there were 8 dogs. So actually, that was really good rolling on my opponent's part because that'd be 8. He needed 4, so that'd be 4 hits. Then he needs 5s. Then I have my armor save. Yeah, no, 1 or 2 is actually what he should have done for odds. Meanwhile, I turn around. I killed 5 right off the bat with the great weapon guys. And he's like, nope, that's it. They crumble. And over here, he puts 1 wound on me. I think I put 1 wound on him. Oh no, that wound was already there from shooting. And pillow fight. He doesn't, and I'm like, okay, he did one wound. He actually did 2 wounds, and I rolled 1 ward save. But neither one of us could hit and wound each other. And remember, I have reroll misses. I can actually hit him. However, I just failed to do so. So, let's see. I did that. So then on to his turn. Okay. Oh, sorry. That's combat with the dogs. Dogs get to go before the dwarves. Why? Because he's dead and I'm a dwarf. And yet he still goes faster than me. I don't understand. He kills one of my spearmen, and I just obliterate that entire unit. I don't even think we rolled for the entire unit. That was just from my BSB, I want to say. We're like, okay, unit's gone. And I perform a reform as such. Unfortunately, I've neglected to take a picture of how the board looks, so I'm just going to go back a few pictures here from the last turn. So, remember the top of the screen, those dogs are gone. I do a reform, and you'll see the reform in just a minute. The other top of the screen, those dogs are gone. And Junior there is chaffing up his skeletons in such a way he really can't get anything else in there. All right, because he can't maneuver that chariot straight ahead into Junior there, as he's going to run into his own unit. And I believe I'm out of sight, or I'm too far away, or he just didn't even bother trying to charge in with the whatever they're called, the Blackguard. So that's it. The Rangers actually fail to rally, and then he turns around and declares a charge on them during his turn with the chariot, and because it's just in range, forcing them to flee, which is going to end up putting them at the edge of the water. So going back forward a few clicks. So here's my reform as such, and remember the Varkalax, I warned you. He charges into that unit with double Varkalak. He considered charging the engineer. He's like, you know what? I'm going to turn around. I'm going to kill that engineer, and then I'm going to overrun and be nowhere near where I want to be. And you're just going to shoot me to death with the organ guns. I'm like, yes, I am. All right, I'm going to go into the spears because he thought between their strength 6. The hatred, the number of, I think they have 4 or 5 attacks each, and then a stomp each. Because he didn't do the D3 stomps, he just gave normal stomps. He's like, so I assume they had an increase of the thirst. But he turns around, he charges into them. He does a total of 4 wounds. I've only lost 5 dwarves from that unit so far. There are still 20 dwarves in that unit. Ouch. Meanwhile, my BSB, which has smashing on him, turn around and later smack onto one of the Varkalax, needing 2s to hit him and 2s to wound him. Put 3 wounds on him. Then I put another wound on one of the other Varkalax. So the wounds wash. He has a charge, but between 2 ranks and 2 banners, he lost by 3. Therefore, they both pop due to combat res. I mean, yeah, that's all I can say. It just did not go well for my opponent at that point. And over here, I managed to kill one of his winged critters, but he does kill Junior, and he doesn't kill Junior when it comes to hand-to-hand combat. He killed Junior because of the stomps. He got stomped to death. So he does a reform facing the warriors with the shield. So this is actually the end of my movement phase. And I'm sorry, let me go back just a few more pics. So going back, and I do apologize for missing that one picture. So over here, as I said, I killed the wolves, I reformed, I faced the zombies. The zombies then charge into my warriors. Now, if you see the little red gems on the board, those represents my hatreds against my opponent's army because I rolled a 6, so I get D3 plus 1 hatreds, because 1 for the king and D3 for the throne that he rides. So I hated the Blackguard, the zombies, and the 2 Varkalax. Why? Because I truly hate Barkalax. There probably were better choices, but just my despise forced me to choose them. Where was I? So he charges in with his spears into Junior. Yeah, and that's it. So going fast forwarding. Prepare fast forward. Fast forwarding, sir. He turns around and he does 1 wound to my Great Warrior hand weapon guys, and I turn around and do a whole bunch of wounds back because of the hatred. So I actually won combat. They stuck. Then the Deep Watch with the King go charging in the following turn. For the winged critter that's lying down, I actually did charge him because I reformed since I had that flank now controlled. I reformed with my spears or combat pivoted with my spears and attempted to charge. I'm like, I got this. I need a 6 or a 7. I rolled like 3. Got nowhere close. I moved up 2 inches. However, as they say, house to the hunters, I have my shooting strengths are right there. The reason why I charged in, because I would have lost all my ranks. However, I would have been turning around and been able to probably kill him, do an overrun, and then get my spears to the other side of the board where they were badly, badly needed. Unfortunately, as I said, I failed that charge. So come the shooting phase, there are only 2 left, and I just opened up again. So again, I think I also did one wound to his character this turn, but they just lit up their world because there was really nothing else in range and killed that unit there. And close combat, he didn't do a single wound to me, and I absolutely obliterated that unit. I think he had less than about 6-7 miles left, in which case they popped. I do a reform. Junior is unbreakable, but he's doing steady wounds into his combat, and that's it. So during his turn, I don't even know what turn this is, he does a reform with his Blackguard, because again, he wasn't quite expecting my shooting to be as potent in the middle. He expected a little bit more from that flank to be able to get through, and to be held up by Junior, who I think is actually winning combat because I'm doing so much damage to him. But who cares? He's unbreakable, and I don't like unbreakable units. And the reason why I'm okay with Vengeance Seekers being fielded in my army, as much as I do hate unbreakables, is they die. They only have 3 wounds with a 6+ ward save. That's it. Otherwise, they die easily to getting shot at, and as well as those hits. You throw enough dice, you're going to kill him easily. He charges in with his lone character into my block there of spears. The reason why he did this is to try to kill the BSP. At this point, he's going for points, and he felt that if he was able to challenge me out, hit my BSB, kill my BSB, because he was going to be swinging with 5, 6 attacks. I forget what it was, but he was going to be strength 6, I think. So wounding on 3s, and then he has a potion of strength, so it becomes strength 9. He has potential. That's all I can say. He has the potential. My dwarf is sitting there with a 1-up armor save and on a charge a 4-up ward save. And unfortunately for his character, it doesn't have divine doesn't have holy attacks. I know at one point they were called holy attacks or divine. He does not have divine attacks. So he turns around, he swings, he does only a couple wounds because we're pretty close in weapon skill. Because I'm weapon skill 6, I think he might be weapon skill 7, so we need 3s, 2s with lightning, reflexes, and I turn around and I also need 3s to hit him, but he's T5, so I need 2s to wound him. He has ward save, I believe, or no, yeah, he has a ward save, and turns around. I do one wound to him. He does 1 wound to me. Meanwhile, all he has is charge. I have 2 ranks and 2 banners. He's going to crumble, and that is exactly what happens right there. So I try to reform during my turn. Again, Junior, as you can see from this picture, holds up that skeleton unit, killing about another 5 skeletons. I take my BSB out because I'm trying to, if he, for any bad luck reason, I can try to move him as fast as I can to utilize the hold your ground, but I don't think it's going to be necessary because it's just stacked right now in my favor. So let's see. I charged into the flank of the skeletons, and I only charged in there with the king's unit. I actually did try to get the Great Weapon Warriors into the the Court of the Damned, and that was it. Magic, I believe, was uneventful. Oh no, I got reroll misses and -1 to hit on my I believe my king's unit. You'll see in a second, and let's see. So now it's on to shooting, and meanwhile I did rally my rangers that are sitting there doing nothing. So over here, that's shooting. Okay, so let me go back a quick pick. 2 organ guns, just at 30 range for the second organ gun, using my engineer's ballistic skill. Do shooting, so normally need 3s, half range, overall half range need 4s, and then shooting through wood, so I need 5s. And the other organ gun, I actually rolled a 6, so the other organ gun needs 7s to hit. I did 4, 8, 12, 13 wounds between the 2 organ guns. I was pretty happy about that. I was very happy about that. And the one organ gun that needed 7 had 22 shots. Still needed 7s. 22 shots. So that truly cut down the effectiveness of that unit. Meanwhile, on to close combat, Junior turns around. He lays down another 5 to 6 wounds on that unit. The King's unit does something truly ridiculous. I'm trying to think on this, how many. Kingsguard did 17 wounds, something ridiculous, and that left him like 10 guys. And he starts pulling them back. I'm like, okay, I killed the unit. He goes, oh no, you didn't. I'm like, well, hold on. I flank, big flank, a couple ranks, and a banner. He goes, yeah, but I have. I'm like, no, you don't get ranks. You're disrupted because I have more. I have at least 2 ranks in your flank. He goes, ah, crap. So he ends up picking up that skeleton unit that was held there by Junior. And they do a overrun. They have Swift Stride right into the remnants of his general's bunker. Whatever, the Court of the Dam could not see them anymore, so it actually charged my Great Weapon warriors, and I chose to flee in hopes of getting away and setting him up for a counter charge with Junior, which is still set up that way. But he actually did catch. I rolled 11 too, but he caught me on the dot. He pops them, and then that's it. He fails his test to do a combat pivot or reform, and that's it. So there's them dying. Over here, close combat. He's got left 1 guy and his characters, and I know I did at least 1 wound onto his White Lord. So it's just not. He did 4 wounds to me. Yeah. 4 wounds to me, and that was it. It's just not looking pretty. So after crumbles and everything else, his unit again disappears because that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 wounds, 10 wounds to him, to 4 to me, and then I still have 2 ranks, a banner, and a charge. So he ends up popping because that's 5, 8. Yeah, he just didn't have enough. So end result. It was a Dwarven Hold massacre. At this point, we called game. I mean, he had 1 model left on the board, which is And we looked at it like, nah, the game is officially over. Overall, I have to give it to for the MVPs of this game. I have to give it to my two both my Vengeance Seekers. The one held up the unit of Wing Reapers, whatever they're called, there in the middle of the board to let the organ guns be able to deal with them in a timely manner. And for him, the Core of the Dam. The Core of the Dam was giving weapon skill 3 to his units, but did manage to take out the unit of Great Weapon Warriors, which it would have done even if had I allowed it to charge. In retrospect, had I known I was going to get caught, I would have just let them die. But yeah, that was basically it. Had a very, very fun game. Gentleman who I played, his name was James. I don't know what his Ninth Age handle is. Mine's SirMC 2015. So if you have any questions, concerns, comments, please go ahead and post them. That's all I have. So until next time,